All right, looks like we are up and ready to go. So, welcome everyone to class number 2 of the Secret to Manifesting Money, Abundance, Health, Love. And today's class let me do this. Hold on, let me start the recording. All right. So welcome to the second class of the Secret to Manifesting and Money and Abundance and Love and better health in your life. And today's class is all about money. It's about finances. It's about abundance. We're going to dive deep into our story around money, the vibration of that, because abundance is our birthright. There is everything in the universe shows that there's so much abundance, yet our stories have told us so many things. Money is evil, or if I'm spiritual, I shouldn't have money, or money doesn't grow on trees, right? Why don't you go ahead and in the chat, share some of the stories or the beliefs or the sayings that you heard growing up about money or abundance. Like one was for me was always money doesn't grow on trees. Well, yeah, it does, because trees make paper. So it actually does grow on trees because money's made out of paper, right? I have to work hard for my money. Yeah, right? Like that belief that it just is not going to flow to you, that unless you work really hard, like, and these beliefs come from a beautiful place, right? Like our family wanted us to be happy, wanted us to have all of the things that maybe they couldn't have. And so by telling us these things like money doesn't grow on trees, or you have to work hard for your money, they thought that they were instilling in us something good. But instead, what it did was it created vibrational energies around money. You'll find that people that have abundance, and I don't call it a mindset, but they have this ability to create money in their lives, can lose everything and they'll create it again immediately. You know how many millionaires and multimillionaires and billionaires that I've talked to that have been like, I lost $100 million and then I just made it back after that. Or I lost a couple $1,000,000. And because when you're at a set vibration level, you can, even if you have it all in catastrophe hits, right? Like 2008, when the market crashed, right? The housing market and everything crashed, and millions of people lost their whole life investments. Well, those people that knew, they were able to immediately find a way to bring that money back. Your vibrational set point will show and give you an experience of where you are. So we're going to find out today what your vibrational set point is, kind of dive deep into that for you so you can see what is the story that I'm telling myself. Where is my block? Where am I being held back so that I can have more abundance, more money, more of those things in my life. So go ahead in the chat box if you want, share some of the other things that you heard growing up about money or about finances, or what that experience was. And we'll also have some chats today with people about that. And I'll tell you, I have a money story too, that I share a lot in my process about the things that have happened in my life. Here's one: money doesn't grow on trees. Yes. Do you think we are millionaires? Right? Well, we are, all of us. And so when I was growing up, my family had money when I was young, but my father wouldn't even allow my mother to take us to, like, I wasn't allowed to go to the movies. As a matter of fact, I remember Bambi came out when I was 5 years old. And my mother snuck away to take me to see Bambi because we weren't allowed to go do those types of things. And we got in a car accident on the way back. And because the roads were icy and we hit a tree. And of course, we got lots and lots of trouble for going out and spending money on a movie. And that in that immediate moment, it brought to me the idea of I'm not valuable enough to have money spent on me, right? I can remember getting at Christmas time when I was real little, 4 or 5 years old, same around the same time, getting paint for my bedroom. That was my Christmas gift. Like, ooh, what kind of, what kind of child wants to paint? And again, for me, the story that it instilled in myself was I'm not valuable or I'm not worthy enough to have money or have money spent on me. And then my family, they at that time, my family had owned homes and different things. They lost everything, and we ended up on food stamps. And I ended up then living with my grandparents, who my grandparents owned a grocery store. And while I was living with them, they lost their grocery store. So I then had this experience my whole childhood of the feast and the famine, of like having money and then losing everything, having money and then losing everything, and then growing up living on always having hand-me-downs, not ever having anything new, being on food stamps, not having food at times, different things like that. So there was these experiences. And so for me, money was always scary, right? It was scary. And so I created stories around that and made that. And then I went to college. And when I got out of college, I got a 6-figure job straight out of college. So I was pretty great, pretty lucky. I had a really great education, and I did really well in school. And then 9/11 hit, and I lost my 6-figure job. There again, I lost everything. And then I became a drug dealer and a drug trafficker, and I made millions of dollars. And then I lost everything, and I became homeless. So I kept creating this role and this story around money that I thought that I could heal. And eventually, how it showed up was when I started my business after being homeless in 2009. I started my business in 2010. And yet I was always struggling. And even though the more money that I made, so I started out in 2013, I was making like $30,000 a year. And then I tripled my income, and then I tripled my income again, right? And I kept growing the income. But the thing is that as I grew the income, my bills grew, the people that I paid grew, everybody grew, and I still wasn't paying myself or saving any money. And I came to a head when I was making all of this money on paper, yet I couldn't pay my bills or pay myself or do the things that I wanted to do. And I realized, I said, I've got to heal this money shit. Like, I can't do this anymore. And I remember it was in 2016, and I was in Yosemite camping with one of my friends. And I had built this really super successful business. And then in 2016, I had some real challenges that went on. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars through a bad launch when I walked away, when I was letting my COO run my business, and there was a big issue, and I had to fire her, and I had no more income coming in, and all the residuals were gone, and all of a sudden I overdrew my account, and I realized I had no new income coming in, and I was like, oh, well, I'm done now. Maybe I'll just go get a job. And I was like, how is it that I've been making all of this money and I'm in this position again? What the freak is my money story, right? Like, what have I done? And so from 2016 to now, I learned to heal that money story. And I am at a place now in my life where I always have whatever's needed and available to me, right? It comes and it flows, and I have faith, and I know that it will always show up, and that I can always pay my car payments and my rent, and pay the people that work for me, and pay myself, and take fantastic trips and travel all over the world, which is what I do. And so it's been a real journey into learning about money for myself and how to do that. And I really think that it's an important conversation to have. So quantum money and quantum money mastery is one of the pillars of Quantum Miracles Mastery. So in our last class, we talked about quantum miracles, which is the manifesting side of Quantum Miracles Mastery. There's 3 pillars to Quantum Miracles Mastery. Quantum miracles, which is the manifesting, understanding how to create the vibration, what the field is, how we work in that, how we get an alignment in our body so that we can create and manifest in our lives. Then quantum money is all about the vibration of abundance, the vibration of shifting into this world of financial freedom, and how we do that, and investments and things like that allow us, but in the quantum, and how we can really shift that. And then the third is quantum health, and it's actually how do we heal our physical bodies without medications, using our hearts and our minds, and heal emotional trauma. And, so mental illnesses, physical illnesses, and trauma. So those are the 3 pillars of Quantum Miracles Mastery. And I want you to stay on today, because at the end of today's session, I'm going to be telling you how you can join me for Quantum Miracles Mastery, and really understanding how to take all 3 of these pillars and apply them in your lives. Because what I'm going to teach you today is only one small part. And what I taught you last week in the last class, and what I'm going to teach you in the next class, there's only small parts, and I can't teach you everything in an hour or 3 hours. And so to be able to really continue this work and move forward, I want to tell you how you can understand how to do that on a deeper level, and really get to understanding everything. So let's get started now and get you into your money healing. So first off, what we are going to do is we're going to kind of check out and see what is the energy of money in your life, right? What is the energy of money, and how is it showing up for you? Because what you're going to find is that you'll be really surprised at how you see money. So what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to envision that you're sitting in a chair somewhere, or maybe sitting in an experience, whatever you're at. Close your eyes and let me know. I want you to envision that money, the essence and energy of money, is sitting in front of you. What does it look like? What do you notice? How does it play in your life? Create the scene. What do you see? What does money bring you? What feelings arise as you look at money? What are you perceiving about money? What are you noticing about the energy of money in your life? Is it close to you? Is it far away? Is it happy? Is it sad? Is it talking to you? Like, look at that energy. Look at money. If it was a person and it was sitting across from you, what would you hear it saying? And now I want you to think about this. You're seeing the energy of money in your life. Now I want you to think about success. What does success actually look or feel like to you? How many of you feel unsuccessful because you're not making the amount of money you want, but you are so actually successful in your lives? The vision of your success is the value that you will create, because the impact that you create will create the income, right? But what does success look like to you? Maybe success for you is taking care of your family. Maybe success is traveling the world. Maybe success is waking up every day happy. When you can align with the energy of the success for yourself, that energy of the abundance of money will start to shift for you. What does money actually mean to you? Great. So go ahead and just Feel that energy. Notice that. And really pay attention to what showed up for you. I did this exercise, one that's a lot deeper and it goes a little bit farther, but it starts out in this energy. And one of my clients had such a huge aha because he literally said, I'm sitting in this couch, this chair, and I feel like I'm a child about this big. And money is this big, giant Hulk like ogre that's standing over me like this. He's like, no wonder I'm not bringing in the money I want, because it's scaring me, because I'm so scared of the energy of it, because that's my fear. So we've got to shift your story, your experience around money. So I'd love to. So Patricia says that it looks like money feels out of reach. It was out of reach. Dawn says, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Patricia says, it's right in front of me in piles close to me with no energy. It's just piles that are wrapped in papers. Fascinating, right? So like it's there, but I can't quite get to it. And then Tracy says, I saw blackness, right? So all of these different experiences around what money and the energy of money is. So what if money and the energy of money was this big hug? What if you wrapped yourself in it and it was able to hug you, right? And give you all the love that you needed. Well, guess what? If you don't love money, money can't love you, right? From what it within is without. So think about it like your best friend. Would you treat your best friend like the way that you treat money? Do you pay attention to your bank account? Do you pay attention to money in your life? Do you pay attention to where it's coming from? Do you treat it nicely? What does it look like in your wallet? How do you carry it? Are you scared to look at it? Would you be, if you were scared to look at your best friend, would your best friend come around and love you? No. So we're going to do a little bit of a money exercise and an evaluation around abundance so that you can see where is your head at around the money story that you have. And Molly says the money was in piles in front of me, but it feels fleeting. Money always feels like it's fleeting, right? We get it and then it goes away, like we can't keep it right when we get ahead. Yeah, that's that feast and famine. And there's we have what's called money mirrors. And the way that money shows up in your life and the way that it disappears out of your life is a mirror to actually other things. So I would ask you, Molly, is where else in your life do you feel like things show up and then disappear, or that are fleeting, or you almost get to where you want to be and then it's gone, right? Because how we do one thing is how we do anything, and we can figure out the patterns, because it's not actually about money. Your problem is not money. Your problem is not abundance. It's a core root that's something underneath that needs to be healed. That when you heal that, your money story, your money situation will change. I was homeless in 2009, and my story wasn't around money. It was around my value and worth of who I was and the confidence that I had to be able to do it. And then when I started my business, and I was a coach, I started out as a health coach, and then having to ask for money for my services, right? Well, I was only making $30,000 a year in 2013 because I wasn't able to actually open my mouth and ask for my value. And now I can charge $30,000 for one client and more that work with me, right? But that's because my value, I know my worth, and I've been able to create that space. And so we've got to really look at that. So let's go in and start evaluating our abundance a little bit. And we've got some amazing people on the call today. I'm so excited. I have, I got some awesome, incredible clients that have been in some of our programs that are hanging out with us today. I can't wait to talk to them about some of their experiences in that. But let's go ahead and do it a little bit of abundance evaluation so you can see where you're at and we can move forward. Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Just write these answers down for yourself. And then I want you to, then I'm going to ask a couple of you maybe to share what you want to share. Of course, you don't have to share anything. These are some things that that you want to know that if you don't know. Do you know it without looking right now? Do you know your current bank balance? or bank balances? Do you have more than one bank account? How often do you check your bank balance? Again, when I wasn't able to pay my bills, do you think I was in my bank account looking at how much money I didn't have? Nope, because I didn't want to look at it. I would go like this, don't look, pretend like the money was there, right? I'd end up with, I think one year I ended up paying $3,500 in overdraft charges because I wasn't looking at my shit, right? Because yeah, Dawn once it looks at it once a week now, but never used to want to look at it. I never wanted to look at it either because it would bring up panic. How many of you feel panic when you look at your bank account or feel panic? Right, that was me. Literally, it wasn't anxiety. It was panic. I would be like, like I don't want to do that, right? And it was better for me to pretend if I didn't look at it, and then I would just panic when I was out of money. But at least if I just waited to panic till I was out of money, it wasn't every day. I had to change the way that I did that so that I could look at my bank account. And when I write bills, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. When I write out a check, or well, I don't really write checks anymore, when I send a Venmo, when I pay a credit card bill or whatever, like thank you for that. And I'm even at times where I'll have written out checks and been like, I don't have the money for that, but it'll show up. But I had done that in the past where I listened to the laws of attraction, and I'd be like, oh yeah, if you just believe it's going to be there. And I would like write a check and I'd be like, oops, not there. Well, but now it happens. I can do that because I actually changed the way that money shows up in my life. Okay. So that you have that question, write those down. Do you feel you have control over what you make? Do you feel you have control over what you make? If you lost your job today, how many months, job, business, whatever, how many months would you be able to survive? If you lost your job today, how many months would you be able to survive? I think that a lot of people figured this out really quickly, right? When we just had COVID, how many people ended up being at home and now losing their jobs in March, right? Or not having income. I did the opposite. You have retirement funds. I'd like to make some of my own though. Yeah. We, a lot of people during the COVID and the shutdown and things like that, a lot of people lost income. A lot of people made less money. I actually did investments and made more money. I've actually, I have two passive forms of income coming in now. One is through a nutrition company and one is through an investment company that I started both while during COVID. And the investment company, the money that I'm making is probably going to surpass the amount of money that my academy makes within the next year. So that's pretty impressive in the midst of a place where everybody else is making income. But what do you believe, right? There's two belief systems that like in 2008, billionaires and millionaires were made in 2008 in the worst economy, right? Why? Because there's people that believe that you can make money and find ways to make money when it's down. And there are people that believe in the fear tactics that are shown to us that the economy is collapsing and that there's nothing and that there's scarcity, right? And that's the story that they live in, and they don't make money, or they're in the between somewhere, right? And it forced a lot of people, like at our academy, we do business trainings for healers, and it forced a lot of my people that do in-person work, massages, stretching, yoga, to figure out how to run an online business, right? It made them take the jump. So sometimes risk, or it forces you into taking a risk and trying something new. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about like your history with money. If you're on here, then I'm probably sure that you want more money or you've had money issues. So I want you to close your eyes for a moment again. And I want you to think back and think about, when do you remember the first time of hearing something negative about money? Or when did your money issues begin? Just allow your mind to float back into the past, into the moment or the time or the event that brought the current money challenges to your life. Just notice how old you were. Who's with you? Where are you? Maybe it wasn't when you were in your childhood. Maybe you had an incredibly abundant childhood and something happened later, you know? Or maybe it was in your childhood. Was money an issue in your home growing up? Was money an issue in your home growing up? Take a moment and think about your family situation while growing up as it relates to finances. Remember those stories? Was there always enough? Was there not enough? Did money grow on trees? Right? Did your parents tell you how to work hard? They tell you always have to save? Right? Thinking about those types of things. What did you notice? Mhm. Yeah. What? Yeah. How did your parents spend it? Right? Like I was little, my father had tons of. We had money in the beginning before we lost everything, but had money, but we weren't allowed to spend it. Or maybe I've heard a lot of stories about uh, women that I've worked with and men also that grew up in experiences where the father had all the control of the finances, and he would drink it away or gamble it away or wouldn't just let and the families and the kids would suffer, or they would feel like they didn't have money, right? Or the opposite, where kids were growing up in a split family and maybe the mother was getting uh, um, child support, right? But somehow the child support never really seemed to go to the kids, right? I hear that story a lot too. So different things like, where's your money story? And then like, why would I want to have money then? Or why would I want to do that? Um, and so thinking about like, how does that money story show up in your life now, right? And then the next question around that is to really pay attention to, well, um, are there any traumas that you feel maybe related to money, even if indirectly? My trauma around money, it took me a really long time to figure out, and once I healed this, it was really powerful. But for me, bad things always happened to people when there was money involved. So like bad things would happen to people that I loved, or I would have to do things that I didn't want to do, or I would lose things that people that I love. So I didn't want to hold on to money. So my story was a feast of famine. I kept making more money in my business, in my life. Like I made millions of dollars in my 20s, but I got rid of all of it. I didn't want to hold on to anybody. I paid for people's stuff. I'd do anything to get rid of it, because if I held on to money, the belief is that something bad is going to happen. Something bad is going to happen. And so then when I started making money legally in my business, I kept getting rid of all of it, right? Like, here we go, getting rid of all of it again, again, and again. And so the same thing, because, but I didn't get rid of it in ways that you think. I wasn't like handing it out and giving it away. No, I would like create things like where my car would break down and I would have to spend a crap load of money. Or, it's energy, right? Energy. So you think something's not related and it is. Like you make all this money and then all of a sudden you have a bill that shows up that it takes all that money, right? And you think that's inconsequential or not related, but it actually is related. Or you have, like I had a client that decided that she wanted to take one of my programs. We did the speaking. We were teaching people speaking. We went to this Tony Robbins event back in like 2017, I think it was. And it was like $6,000 for the program, right? And she literally signs up for the program, and the next day, her roof collapses. And guess how much the bill is? $6,000. And so she had to make a choice at that point and say, what is the universe trying to show me and teach me here? And she had to say, I believe in the abundance. And she went ahead. She said, I'm doing it. Doing the house, coming to this thing, and because of that had the breakthrough, right? Because she didn't allow the universe to be like, haha, here we go, gonna do, gonna make this thing happen. It was allowed it to pay attention to that. Okay. So let's see some of the people here that we have in the chat box over here saying, my father drank it and my mom did hairdressing in the home to feed us. The stories around money. Molly says there's two. She said, our parents always wondered if there was enough and struggled to get ahead. Yeah, if the story of struggle is from your parents, then guess what? You're going to struggle, because the need to belong is so powerful. And even though it's subconscious and you don't want to belong in that kind of way, your bond is struggle with your parents. So you're going to struggle the way that they struggle. The second was with my spouse now. That's the next question I'm going to ask. If there were months where we were overdrawn or had pennies left in the account. Yeah. So now I want you to look this. I'm glad that she said that about her spouse. The funny thing is you want to look at your life and say, list any family members or partners who have had similar issues. Go back through your whole life and look at all of your family members and every single one of your past partners, and notice the vibration and the attraction that you're pulling in. What do they have? I pulled in and did the same thing for years. I had partners that same thing, feast and famine, money issues, things like that. I knew I had finally fixed my money story when I noticed the partners that I had one partner that when I recognized when she came into my life, because her money story was completely different than all of my exes and all of my family members and stuff, because she was wealthy and abundant. I knew I had changed my money shape. I was like, oh, there we go, did it, right? Because I felt valuable enough to be able to vibrationally bring in somebody like that. So obviously Patricia said she started working and babysitting at 12 to help out. And at 21, she was supporting her mom and her siblings. Yeah. Right. Look at the stories of like, what is a 12-year-old? Like, I have to support everybody else. I wonder, Patricia, if you now still take care of everybody, if you have that feeling or that need where, is it instilled in you where you feel like, because part of what will hold over, will keep you at a glass ceiling a lot of times, where even if you're making great money or things, is this need to give or to take care of without reciprocity, right? And we can only give from a cup that's overflowing and from the saucer. So Natasha says when she was 7, she asked my mom if she had made $1 million in her lifetime. She laughed it off as saying it was ridicule. I learned then that becoming a millionaire was impossible. Natasha, let's talk with you for a second, if you'll unmute yourself, because I'd love to. Hi.
Yes. Hi. Fantastic.
Awesome. I'm going to unpin my video so people can see you. Awesome. And so I want you to tell me a little bit more about this story of your million, of what that felt like to be 7 years old, and then create a story. Well, it's impossible to be a millionaire. And then a little bit about, and then we'll go on from there.
Okay. So when I was a kid and up to now, I always believed in everything. Anything was possible to me. So my mom was working and we're living with my grandparents, in that my grandparents had finally made it out of nothing. So we're living like millionaires. I grew up in Haiti. So just to tell you the background, outside my home, everybody's poor. I'm sticking rich. So to me, it was like, it's a no-brainer. So I turned to my mom. I still remember I was 7 years old, around the table. And I said, Mom, have you made $1 million? And then she goes, what you talking about? She goes, no, it's impossible. And I said, no, but in all your life, have you made $1 million? And then she laughed it off, and then she says it was ridicule. And then I learned that you could never be a millionaire. And I've been searching, and all my life worked hard for my money. Attracted, just like you're saying, attracting partners that were draining my money.
Yeah.
Until recently.
Until
you get rid of one.
Yeah. So
you get rid of.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish.
Yes. Well, you get rid of one, and then you attract one that is worse or just a little bit better, but it's just like work, you
Yeah.
have a ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. You're stuck in a I call it you have a low and a high, right? Like we have
Yes.
a consciousness level and we have a low and a high. And sometimes we'll sit up here at this high and sometimes we'll be down here. But what we want to do is we want to take that low and that high and move it all up so that
Yes.
our low eventually becomes what used to be our high. So
Yes.
Natasha was in our quantum class last year, and was it last year or earlier this year? Boy,
Earlier
anyway,
this year.
earlier this year. Okay,
Yeah.
great. And so I'd love for you to share a little bit about your experience and what you took away from the course and how it's helped you. Because I know we just happened to have a conversation last week by chance.
Yes.
And you were
Yes.
telling me some amazing things, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to share that with people.
Absolutely. I'm like a seminar junkie. I'm always searching for the latest book to get rid of that scarcity. It's easy for me to attract. I declare and it shows up. It won't show up necessarily in money. I'll get free everything. I get free entrance, free coupons, free all the time. And to me, it's natural. When I travel, it's the same thing. I get free upgrade, whatever.
Yeah.
It never stays. And I'm like in my 40s, and I said, Natasha, it can't be. You should be a billionaire, a quadruple billionaire with everything you're attracting. So, and I've been to a lot of seminars. And then I saw your course and I said, well, another one. And I broke after all I've been through, and I thought that I had learned everything. I don't know. I guess it's the exercise or the way we're doing things. And because I partner with the people that were close to me, because when you rub off people, you bring them to learn the same thing.
Yeah.
And something I got rid, first of all, I learned that my money, what was missing was part of my personal relationship too. There was the same pattern. When I hit 150, I go 149 in my account, and then panic sets off, and then I sabotage in my life, I sabotage my relationship, and I do roll around, and then I'm deep down in the hole, and I don't know where my money went. I don't know where I work, what happened, and I'm paying fees. And then after your class, Melissa, it was so real that I broke through and I saw, oh, this is what has been keeping me in that loop. And all I could hear is that little voice that says, take action. I said, what are you talking about? I said, just take action. So I organized my bills. I work less because I was doing all kind of side hustles to make the end of the month. And I realized I'm more abundant. I'm more abundant with my time to myself. I take care more of myself. I love more myself. And that's where money comes from.
Yeah.
So
Abundance, right? Like I just want to reiterate what you said about
yes,
abundance. Abundance is not just about money. It's about time. It's about love. It's about,
absolutely.
right? Like all of these things. And when you start to grow that abundance, it grows in all those areas. We're just focusing on money today because we want to talk about the money class. But
Yes.
I love that you said like that love for yourself and the abundance of time. Like for me,
Yes.
abundance of time is the most valuable thing. I went from working
Yes.
70 hours a week to 20, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm.
So it was really great, and I think it's how you delivered in that class, because like I told you, I haven't been to Tony Robbins, but I've touched most of all the people around them, and I'm buying all the books and everything, but nothing could help me get past that. I would do well for a little time, and then I would fall back. And when did we end it? I don't know. I've been on that course, and I'm still on salary because I want to create something for myself to free myself, not to have to go to work. So I'm staying in a job that is not paying a lot, like I'm saying in my turn, because I don't want to be slave to work.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was never about my salary. I'm not lacking money because of what I'm paid. I'm lacking money because of what I was missing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm working less. I'm doing my hustles when I want to, but everything gets paid and I got extra. I always have extra.
Yeah.
I always have more.
Awesome.
It's just amazing.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That is such a beautiful story, and I'm
My
so happy to
pleasure.
hear that. Like when I talked to you
Yes.
last week, I just was super excited to hear that, and
Yes.
I'm really glad that you joined us.
Yeah. It
Awesome.
was all worth it.
Mhm. Great. And so let's go back a little bit more. And so we talked about we've looked at your money story. We've looked a little bit at where you see money in your life, right? And understanding that. So now I want you to look at a vision. So now we're going to look forward a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I have another one of our amazing students that's going to come on and share a little bit. And then I'm going to share with you about the gift that I have for you guys and about how to join this amazing program that we have starting next week that has quantum money in it. It's part of the program, along with our quantum miracles and our quantum healing, and it's a really a deep, intensive journey into having all this amazingness in your life. So I want you to dream a little bit, and when I first did this exercise, probably 8, 9, 10 years ago, for me, I was like, "Ooh, if I had $1 million, I would," and I get all the things. Now I'm like, if I had $1 million, I wouldn't even be able to buy a house. but when you're at a space, right? Like I'm like, I need like 10 million for the house. If you, but I want you to just dream from where you're at right now. If you had an extra $1 million, what would you be able to do with it? What would you be able to do with it in your life? Really think about that. And if you want to share in the chat, you can share, um, right? $1 million. And if money was no object, what would you do with your life? Because part of my deepest desire for the people that I work with and what my mission and goal in this world is for you to come to your purpose and for you to go out and share that in the world. And like I'm a humanitarian. I work with sex trafficking. I work with PTSD. I work with veterans. Like want to travel and and be in countries in like Uganda and Kenya and work with people that need my help. I want to eradicate. Eradicate poverty, right? Like I can do that. And I have the ability to have these side of things because if money was no object, what would I do? What would you do with your life if money was no object? And guess what? Then you find the way to create that money through your purpose so that you can do what you want. It says if money was no object, I would donate more money and time to the causes I believe in and I would travel. Yes. So thinking about and then oh, funny, fascinating. So Patricia says she has no idea what she would do because everything she's done for free or minimum fees because you have a belief that I'm worth I don't have a belief I'm worth more. Patricia, I want to change that because you're worth so much. I mean, just being here, you're, like the fact that you're here in this time there on Earth right now, just shows like the amount of value that you have. And part of like learning this work and doing this program is realizing and recognizing that vibrational experience so that you can have that value. With an extra $1 million, Molly would travel, pay off bills, and give to worthwhile causes and save. Yeah. And if money was not, I would take care of others both close to me and within the world. I would travel often and see this beautiful world. Lots of travel, right? Like, what would it feel like if you could take care of the people that you love, right? When my daughter was super young, I made a lot of mistakes, especially when I was doing the drug trafficking and things like that. And there was years when I became homeless and stuff where I could not I didn't have the money to do things for my daughter, or the people that I love. And my greatest joy now is when she messages me and says, "Hey, Mom, I need something off of Amazon. Got to think, can I use your card that's on file? It's like $100. Sure, honey. Hey, Mom, I need money for rent." She's a senior in college, and we help her with college, pay for college and rent and things. But yeah, Mom, can I have this? Yes. And you know what the thing is she never asked for anything. And I actually call her, what do you need? What do you want? Because I want to be able to give that to her because I have the ability now, you know, or a friend calls me and says, hey, I'm losing my house. Can I borrow some money? Or somebody says I lost my job, or I get to donate to this thing over here, or all these causes that came up because of COVID, and I get to freely give for that. It's an amazing feeling. And you know what? Reciprocity, one of the things that I teach and that we do is with the energy of giving, it comes back to you tenfold, right? It comes back to you tenfold. So when you can actually learn to give, it doesn't have to be of money. It can be of time. It can be these, but that energy comes back to you. We do some fun things like called pennies from heaven, or leaving money in different places and seeing things that happen energetically. Like when you start to play with the field, you will start to see money coming from you in all areas. Pay off debt and help my girls more and live at the beach doing healing work. You got this, Dawn. Will she learn how to manifest herself on her own? Second law of success. I don't know what that means, but okay. Yes, awesome. Okay, Patricia. So Patricia says I'm in. Yeah. So what I want to do now is thinking about your dreams, because your dreams and what you want to believe, like we have to create that desire. And so part of what we do in our Quantum Miracles Mastery program is getting super clear, like Patricia, right? Super clear on what do you want and how do you actually create that formula so that the universe understands what you're saying. Because we got to understand that our brains think in pictures. The universe talks in symbols and signs, right? So when you want to know things, look for symbols and signs. They're being thrown at you all the time. And yet we communicate with the field through our emotions and feelings. So if you don't have all three of those things in line, why is the law of attraction, the secret, not working for you? Because the secret's talking about the thoughts that you think, but it's not telling you all the other stuff that has to happen to align all that stuff up. Not only do you have to think thoughts, right? But those thoughts have to be coupled with the emotion that goes with it. If you want to be a millionaire, you must feel like a millionaire before you will ever make $1 million. I know it sounds really hard, right? But you've got to actually think and be and feel like a millionaire. What would a millionaire do when they walk out the door? What restaurant would they go to compared to the restaurant that you would go to? Because would you go to a restaurant and spend $500 on a dinner? If you're a millionaire, you would. If you're a foodie. I mean, maybe you just don't give a crap about food. But if you're not, right? If you have a lack mindset, you'll be like, I really want to go to this restaurant, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go somewhere else because I want to spend $100 or $150, right? My sister and I in 2018, went to Mallorca. We went to Spain for a couple of weeks and we had this amazing trip. But we went to Mallorca and we went to a Michelin 5-star restaurant, and it was 6 courses. And it was a wine with every course. We had to take a private car to get there because we definitely weren't driving back after that, especially not in a foreign country. And we were pretty toasty by the time we were done. That bill, I think, was 900 pounds. So whatever that converts to in US dollars for 2 people. Right? Millionaire mindset, millionaire, but and I was just like, yeah, great. Now I don't do that all the time. No. But am I willing? Do I hop on a plane? I carry my passport with me in the car and everywhere I go. Why? Because somebody might call me and just tell me, hey, let's go jump on a plane and go somewhere. I mean, not as much now right during COVID, but I do because I have no problem driving straight to the darn airport, buying clothes wherever I end up, not needing a suitcase, and have passport in hand. Right? And so what would you do? But I have to live that way. I had to live that way before I made money that actually afforded me that. People were like, I was traveling back in 2016 all over the world. I spent 33 months traveling the world straight, way before I was making the money that would allow me to do that. People are like, how do you do that? I don't know. The money just comes. Like I'm in all these foreign countries doing all this really cool stuff. Like I'm taking private trips and ending up on islands and ending up in big, beautiful homes and having full-time maid service. And I created and manifested all this stuff before my income actually allowed me to do it. So how do I have the income now? Because I lived the life and felt that way and did it. And then the money came. So you've got to get into alignment. And so as I was asking, yeah, what if you don't literally have the $5.99 to pay for something, right? Or the $3.99 or the whatever. How do you do it? I do. If it's and I go with this, it's a hell yes or it's a no, right? Is it something you really need? Is it something that is really going to benefit you? Or are you doing it because it makes you feel better to buy this thing, right? And then I look at things as investments or as in liabilities. And but buying a pair of shoes, they're like, I mean, I'm, like, will I put it on a credit card? No, I pay cash for it. I will pay cash for it because I'm not going to pay interest on a pair of shoes. But will I spend $10,000 on a course that is going to change my life and pay interest on it if I don't have it in cash to do? Absolutely, because that's not a liability. That's an asset because it's actually going to help me grow my business, right? So let me bring on Elena. Hi, Elena. So Elena is one of my students. She's actually in the academy. She's in our 1-year program. And so she's taken the Quantum Miracles Mastery. She's taken our Intuitive Intelligence certification. She's in our business training. She's doing all the things. And we met last year in May at my conference, live and in person. And when she signed up for the program, I literally remember she was crying on my shoulder, and she's like, I don't know that. And to be clear, this program's like $15,000, right? It's a hefty price. And at that time, I don't know what she was making, but I'll tell you this. I know for a fact that when she signed up, we gave her payment, and she's like, I have no idea how I'm going to make these payments. Like, I have no idea how I'm going to make these payments. And I'll tell you, for a year, she's been making payments, and she's always figured it out. And she's grown so much and so many things. So Elena, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your experience with Quantum Miracles and what you've been taking away from learning this work.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love that because that's always where I start my story, is just like, I signed up, and I mean, I looked at you and I was like, I have $500 in my bank account and you can have it because I will do anything right now to change my life. And so that's just where I started from. And I didn't have anything other than that. And, I mean, I was even on a scholarship. I didn't even have the $100 for that weekend that I went. And
well, that's right. You got a scholarship to even come to the event because you didn't have $100 to pay for the ticket.
Yeah. So that's where I was at. And so, but doing this work and going in and doing the deeper work and doing the trauma healing and all this stuff, I mean, I have seen this, echo throughout my life. The money has always shown up in so many different ways from so many places that I would never have imagined it. It's always shown up. And even everything in COVID and all this, I've never had a time where I was like gonna go hungry. Like, there was never a time where I've been able to pay my rent this entire time, which for a lot of people, they weren't able to pay their rent. And it's so understandable, but like, that's what this program was able to do for me, was to create all of this abundance and this abundance mindset. And I mean, it's still such a work in progress. Like, I have so much to learn and so much to do, but I just can't even imagine facing the world today with the mindset that I had a year ago. Like, I'm so grateful that I made that leap. And I mean, I just was like, whatever it takes. And it's always paid off. And so, I mean, I follow everything that you do because it really changed my life. So
thank you. Thank you so much, Elena. And I adore you. And I mean, and to be clear, let me say this, Elena shows up. Like, 90% of everything is showing up. She shows up to everything. She does the work. She puts in the time, and part of that is, I mean, I have people that buy programs and come in and they never do them, right? Or they stop halfway through, or then they wonder why their lives aren't changing. And Elena has always shown up. Like, she'll be like, and before COVID, so she has a business where she works in person doing stretching and yoga and all of these things. And she'd be like in the middle of sessions showing up for a class and like, things like that and everything, and always putting in the work and always doing the time. So, I can teach all I want, but her ability to show up for herself is really what's made the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So what I want to do is I want to share with everybody about Quantum Miracles Mastery and how you can, one, get a free ticket to my next conference, which is the one that Elena and I met at. And that will be because of the COVID right now. We were supposed to have a conference in this year, but we're going to wait until 2021. And so we're going to probably be doing 2 next year. We're looking at like March and October for our conferences for next year. But you'll get a ticket to the conference, which the tickets are $777. So that's how you get a free ticket when you come to for our 3-day conference. You'll also get 2 weeks free. These are my gifts that I can give you. 2 weeks free in our sacred circle, the Quantum Miracles Sacred Circle, which is really, we do healings and transmissions and cards and just all this beautiful stuff to really integrate what you're learning and bringing in into your life. And that program I've been running for a couple of years, and we charge $500 a month for it. So it's like a monthly subscription, and you get 2 months for that. So before anything, I'm gifting you $1,777 worth of stuff free from my heart, because I want you to show up for yourself. And I believe in the abundance of miracles and magic. And so what I want to offer to you today is the program that we have, the Quantum Miracles Mastery. Again, goes over the 3 pillars, right? The 3 pillars that I shared, which was the quantum miracles and the manifesting that we talked about last week, the quantum money mastery. And also in this program, not only do you get to work on, we're going to be doing quantum money mastery within the live trainings, but we have the online membership program, which we sell online for $777, that you get for free. So you get that with all of the work and everything that goes into. So if you want to dive deeper into the money piece, which even though it's about money, I'll tell you, we had people that healed a bunch of trauma and like let go of a lot of stuff doing that. So this all stuff interacts with each other. You get that program to go with it also. And then the quantum healing, which our next class, we're going to be teaching about quantum healing. Like, what if you could be like my client who had endometriosis and completely healed it? Or like my client that did the quantum miracles, who had a stroke and half of her face was this way, right? And had for about a year, and she was going to go have surgery done. And the week before her surgery, she was doing the quantum miracles work, and within 4 days, her face completely healed. Or if you could heal hypothyroidism or trauma, emotional trauma. Like, most diseases come from a core root of deep trauma. We work with cancer associations. We have people that have taken our courses that run cancer associations. What if you could use this work to help someone else heal, right? I've seen people come off of deathbeds. And I'm not making any claims here, but I'm telling you, this is what I've seen and what I know is possible with the quantum health. And so when you come and work with us, we do this deep work together. And so not only do we get the live trainings every week where we're going to work together, I'm going to teach you and I'm going to coach you and we're going to work back and forth. And this is not just me talking to you. We're actually going to work together, right? We are going to work together in this group experience and walk step by step through your healing and your transformation and your money story and your manifesting, so that you could create the lives that you want, so you can get to your purpose and your desire and really create that in your life. Along with that, every week we're going to have quantum meditations. And so you're going to have, over the 9-week period, you're going to have 9 meditations that you're going to, and they're small, meaning that we're going to start you out little. They're 10 to 15 minutes, and you're going to be committed. You're going to do one with me, and then you're going to have this video or you can listen to the audio. And every day for that week, you're going to keep repeating that, because we want to change the brain. And these meditations will change your brain and the way that your brain and your heart are connecting. And so you're going to be doing those every day. So we have 9 different ones over the 9-week period. Along with that, I'll be doing energetic healings and transmissions. And what does that mean? That means that I have the ability, through learning this work and through the quantum and through different energy healings I have the ability to send out energetic healings and quantum. And anybody that's been on my meditations before, and I'm wondering to see if wonder if Laura is on here, or nope. oh, we got Dawn though. I'll go over to Dawn in a second. That you will actually feel, and you can feel shifts. And I've had people that have released and healed traumas in their lives just from going through the energetic healings and the transmissions. You don't have to do anything, which is super great. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what else we're doing in the program, but I want to bring Dawn on. Hi, Dawn. Dawn, I'm going to unmute you. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm lovely. So you were also in our quantum program, the one that was this year, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Tell me a little bit about your experience and what shifted and changed for you.
So for me, it was really interesting because, let me turn my phone low. I'm not new to quantum work, but I have always had a hard time manifesting, especially when it came to financial. So I was kind of invited in here. And for me, it was such a great experience because I'm one of those people that will get involved in something and then halfway through will usually stop because there's so many other things going on.
Right, you're the one that disappears, right? But something different was this that time. I remember you saying that.
Yes. So, I mean, I was there all the time. I showed up for everything. You know, I really think it was your energy. It was the classes. I loved how you did everything virtual. It wasn't like you were just teaching. We were part of every single, class participation, which was amazing. And again, knowing some of the quantum stuff, you still put your own spin on it, which made it very fascinating. What else was... And what was also cool was you weren't taking any crap. You're like, show up or you're out. So for me, I'm like, oh my God, well, I don't want to just, be out of this. So I've got to show up, but you made it easy to stay in. I was very motivated. I had some aha moments. I finally got out of my own way, opened my Etsy shop, which you know about, and like literally was selling, things were selling like ASAP. What else?
You also started another program or something, right? Like, I mean, working with a collective to do some healing work.
So yeah, I've been able to get rid of some of my blocks.
Yeah.
I literally just opened up, I was just in my own way of just not feeling worthy and feeling like I just wasn't valuable enough. And I was able to clear some of that, finally put the motion for my LLC and just getting out of my own way. And, and I think the one thing that helped too was the way you did that. I forget what you called it, the manifesto, which I've done before, but the way, and I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to give it away, the way you incorporated the things that you did to make it so powerful was just, I really think that helped a lot too.
Awesome. Hey, well, thank you so much for sharing. I love the fact that one of the things that for me that I found powerful was that you're like, I've taken so many things, I've done quantum work before, but I actually think for some reason I came and showed up, and that for me is so important because for me, I don't want people to come into my program and pay me money to not show the fuck up.
Right.
I really want people to like show up and be there. And if I can and I want to be able to be the person that gives them the energy that says, yes, please, keep it engaging, keep it showing up, having them have transformation. That for me is really, really important. So I'm really glad that happened for you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Awesome. So if you all look in the chats, you will see that there's a link. If you go to the link, it's going to give you all the information about the Quantum Miracles Mastery Immersion, everything that you get with it between the 9 weeks of live trainings, the program, the Quantum Miracles program that we're giving to you, the Sacred Circle, the what else did I say? Oh, the ticket to our conference next year. Everything when you add all the value together is $5,555. And of course, we are giving you the program today for under $1,000. And there's a payment plan option for you. We already have a great group that has signed up and registered. We start next week, so we're just starting in a few days, and we're going to be This program's different than our other ones that we've done because we're combining all three of them together and doing the energetic healings and the transmissions and having the meditations. and then doing the live training. So there's going to be a real deep experience going on here with everything. And we've got layers and layers of things that are going on, because I want people to be able to walk out of this program with manifesting, with really creating. And what I'm going to do, for those of you that are on this call today that want to sign up, in US dollars, yes, that's US. What I will do is, and I'll give you a money back guarantee, because I believe in this work so much. The guarantee is this: if you show up to all 9 weeks, that means you have to be on every single call, and you do all of the work, and you prove that you do the work by sending in the work, and you don't feel that your life has changed, I'll give you your money back. It's a pretty powerful thing to say, because that means basically you get to do the work for free and see what it's like. And if you're like, nope, that didn't work for me, and I don't, yeah, but you have to do it. So the only way that you can do it is I can give you the guarantee, and you show up for the whole program, show up for all of it, commit to everything, prove you have to show proof that you did it. And if you, at the end of that 9 weeks, you're like, no, because I know so much how powerful this is, that I'm willing to make that agreement and that commitment to you. So go over to the link, check it out. And what I'll do today also, for those of you on here, is I'll give you one extra thing. How many people we got on the call today? Let's see. What I'll do is, for the first person that goes over there and go ahead and signs up, I will give you a one-to-one session with me. I charge $1,000 an hour, and I will spend a time with you. So even if you just want to get a session with me, you're actually getting the whole program for free if you just do the session with me. So really way to look at it. I'm trying to give you as much value as possible, because I want to see your life change. You've heard talk from my students and the amazing things that have happened in their lives and the ways that they can change. If you have any questions for me, I want you to stay on, ask questions in the chat box. If you need more information, when you go over to the page, there's a way that you can schedule a call to talk to one of our clarity coaches if you need more questions or answers. But I'm here right for you right here, right now. And then our next class, we'll be doing quantum healing, and I'll be teaching you a technique that you can start to use immediately to heal physical issues in your body. So again, go over bonuses again, so I'll make sure that everybody knows what they are. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to even make sure that I'm getting it all right to you. You have the Quantum Miracles, the Quantum Money Mastery formula, the Ticket to Transform Live, and a 2 months in our Sacred Circle. And then for the first person that goes over and signs up today, I'll give you a one-to-one session with me, and you can join us. We have a couple of great things about this also, because people always ask this question, is yes, we have a Facebook group, but what we've done is we've created an offline, or not offline, off of Facebook. For those of you who don't want to be on social media, or not on social media, or tired of Facebook, we actually have a new platform that we're using, where all of our discussions and everything will be inside there, and you'll have an accountability partner that you'll be working with, and you guys can actually video chat and chat inside this app. If you don't want to share phone numbers, or if you guys are somewhere else in the world, you have the ability to do that. And so they have this amazing platform that we're using now, where we'll be able to share and chat and stay in the energy. And so you'll be having these weekly transmissions. You'll have the weekly energetic healings, the weekly live trainings, and then all of the meditations that go with it. Let me see if I'm missing anything else that we get. Daily, the daily guidance videos and the written lessons to activate your manifesting powers and your superhuman ability to heal and get into alignment. A lifetime access to everything. So you get life after it's over. You get to go back as many times as you want and do the work over and over and over again. We have a lot of people that it's like anything else. You build a muscle and you got to keep working it out. So a lot of people that go back in and do the work again, they want to go back and have that access. And then of course our community support is going to really help you. So thank you all so very much for joining me today. I'm going to stay on for a few minutes just to see if you have any questions, anything that you need, or if you just want to say hi or chat about something, I'm here. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you. Awesome.